Hey friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Sydney. In today's video, we will be doing my Spin the Bottle TBR game for May. So hey, what's up? How are you? I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me for a little bit. It truly doesn't make sense that it's almost halfway through the year, but a new month means new books. And there's a lot of potentials to choose from this month that I am really excited about. So let's get into the game. The first thing we do is chat about how last month went, and this will determine whether I get a reward or not in this game today. The first prompt we got was finish a series. Yes, the whole thing. And I was lucky enough last month that I had a couple choices to where I was on the last book of two different series. And I will actually have the Faithful and the Fallen series finished at the end of this month. I'm so excited. That book is Wrath by John Gwynne. This is the fourth and final book in this series. I am like maybe 150, 200 pages away from finishing. I am way too excited to finish out this series. I'm very, very sad to finish out this series. I really don't know what my mental scape is gonna be like when I can no longer read about these characters, but I am also excited to knock this series off of my list. So this one will be finished, so I'm counting that prompt as completed. The next one was actually start a new series. I had originally wanted the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin to fulfill this prompt, but I haven't yet gotten to it. I wanted to finish The Faithful and the Fallen before I started that series. I plan on starting the 5th season this weekend, but I don't know if I'll finish it. So what I'm doing is using Obsidian to fulfill this prompt, and it is book 1 in a series, so I'm technically starting a new series. Will I continue? That's another topic of discussion. But I literally have like 30 minutes left of this book on audio, and this will get finished tonight. Mark my words. The next prompt was read a book with water on the cover. The prompt was actually just water. But I did read The River of Silver by S.A. Chakraborty. This has water on the cover. It also has the word river. Completed the prompt. The next prompt was blue on the cover, and I ended up mood reading Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. And then the final prompt was the challenge prompt. The what's in the box game did happen. I ended up winning, so I gave myself a mood read, and I am counting The London Seance Society by Sarah Penner for that challenge prompt. So technically that means I get to pick a reward for my little reward mug. And I also have 2 rewards saved up from the past couple months because I haven't used them during the game. The board's been actually really kind to me, but maybe it just heard me say that, and today will be very interesting. But I do have a mood read and a 5-star prediction saved up from last couple months, but I get to pick another one. I don't know if these rules are like fair. I mean, they are, because reading's supposed to be fun, so I guess maybe I shouldn't think too hard on it, but it feels like things are just going well, which is suspicious. So let's pick another reward prompt and see what we get. This one says, treat yo shelf. This means I get to purchase a new book if I wanted to, or use a book that I recently purchased, which, if you know, my last video was a book haul, so I have purchased a lot of books recently. I was supporting local, all right? But that being said, very, very fun. Now I have the ability to swap out a prompt. I have the ability to swap out 3 prompts if I wanted to. This is suspicious. We can get on into the game though. First spin will be my Patreon only spin. All of the spaces will be filled by prompts submitted to me from my patrons over in the greenhouse. Afterwards, then we will mix and mingle all the prompts I have ever created and continue the spins. So let's go on to spin number 1. So spin number 1, we got a prompt that says pick a favorite author and read their longest book. It's kind of a mean prompt. I mean, it doesn't have to be. I guess like I could pick quite a few things, but to be completely honest, I don't have the energy to go through and look up my favorite author's books and how long they are. I just don't have the energy. I have 3 reward prompts saved up. I gotta use them sometime. Now is one of those times, friends. So what I'm going to do is use the mood read reward prompt that I have saved up, and I'm going to choose a specific book because May is AAPI month, which is Asian American and specific. I always say specific. Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Literally since I was a kid, I've always said specific instead of Pacific, and this is just a personal problem that I have. But that being said, the book that I want to choose, I have quite a few next to me that were potentials, you know what I'm saying? I'm actually going to choose one that has been on my TBR for a long time, and it has always intrigued me. I don't know any reviews. I haven't looked it up on Goodreads. I don't really want to because I want to go into it with the mindset that I have right now, which is like, I'm excited to read it. I'm kind of in the mood for a story like this. And it is The Verifiers by Jane Peck. I love this cover. In the story, we follow our main character, Claudia, who is basically used to disregarding her fractious family's model minority expectations. For example, she doesn't want to find a conventional career, nor does she want to find a nice Chinese boy. She's used to keeping things from her parents, like that she prefers girls, and that she has just been recruited by Veracity, an online dating detective agency in New York with its own secrets. She is a lifelong mystery reader who wrote her senior thesis on Jane Austen, and Claudia can't imagine a job more fun or, to her family, less suitable. But when a client goes missing, Claudia starts digging deeper than she's supposed to, right in the maelstrom of intrigue and deceit. This story is part literary mystery, but also part immigrant family story. And I have just been in the mood for like a mystery story. I don't know why, but it seems like the time, and I'm excited to finally put it on the TBR to make me read it. So let's mix and mingle all the prompts and go on to spin number 2. Number 2, we got a tarot card. It's been a hot minute since we've gotten one of these spins, but regardless, this is the major arcana of this deck, and I have predetermined prompts for every single one of these. So basically what we're gonna do is just mix all the cards together, put some, I'm trying to show you that I'm mixing them, but really I just look like I have chicken wings and it's fine. We're just gonna keep going. And I'm going to basically try to shuffle them. Okay, well, one just fell, so let's just say that that was my pull, because it seemed like the tarot gods wanted me to choose this card. That's fine. We got Temperance, okay? Number 14, Temperance. Let's see in my very old bullet journal what prompt I have chosen for that number. Okay, so for Temperance, I have the predetermined prompt of asymmetrical or proportional cover. I don't know if you're gonna agree with me, but this is what I'm gonna choose, okay? I'm gonna be choosing Severance by Ling Ma. And if you think about it, it's sort of symmetrical and proportionate because there's like a blemish here and like a blemish here on either side of the little, you know, block. I've always thought that this cover was extremely appealing and satisfying for my brain. So those feelings go hand in hand with like being symmetrical or proportionate to me. So I think that it fits. And this is what I'm choosing. This is also the buddy read pick for my Nightcrawler book club over in my Patreon. I'm very excited to read this along with my little bookworms. The link for that is always down in the description if you want to come check it out and hang out with us. We have a lot of fun. But Severance. I'm very excited to be reading this book. It is about time. I've had it for quite some time. What month was December 2018? I've had this book since, wow, that's horrible. I am upset with myself. A quick little synopsis that's at the end of this dust jacket because it is a long synopsis, okay? This one says, a send up and takedown of the rituals, routines, and missed opportunities of contemporary life. This is a moving family story, a quirky coming of adulthood tale, and a hilarious deadpan satire in which the end of the world gets put in its rightful place. Most of all, it is a heartfelt tribute to the connections that drive us to do more than survive. Not only did my camera die, but that also didn't really tell me much about what I'm about to read. Okay, the actual synopsis sounds really great, really interesting. So let's just try this again. This story follows Candace Chen, who is a newly minted New Yorker, first generation American, recent orphan, millennial worker bee, and she loves going to work. Hi, Avi. You're very cute. Basically, Candace loves to work, so she barely notices when the Shen fever sweeps New York. Families are fleeing, but Candace is persuaded by a big payout to be a one-person skeleton crew at the office, and she spends her free time photographing the abandoned city as an anonymous blogger, the New York Ghost. Eventually, though, Candace will have to escape from Manhattan and enter a group of survivors, led by the power-hungry IT specialist named Bob. They're traveling to a place called The Facility, where Bob promises they will have everything they need to start a new society. But Candace is guarding a secret Bob will certainly exploit. Will her rescuers become her captors? That took like a mysterious spin that I wasn't expecting. This book sounds like it has a lot of different aspects to it. I love the idea of Candace being an anonymous blogger in New York during this like almost pandemic time. This sounds really great. And I'm so mad that I've had this book for so long and I haven't read it. So this is like priority number 1, all right? But first, let's go on to spin number 3 and see what the board has for us. Okay, we got the Terra Space again, which is super fun. I'm gonna leave Temperance out so that we don't get it again. But here comes chicken wings. Let's shuffle these up again. Oh my goodness. And another one just fell, just like the last time. So let's just pick that one again. This is strange. The card that fell is number 9, the Hermit. Debatably my favorite card. And according to my old journal, the Hermit's prompt is an escapist read. And the little notes that Past Sydney has written says, time and space away from everyday life and being isolated from our world as we know it. So for this prompt, I can work with this. I have 2 options. I'm low again. I'm gonna bring you down to me. All right, I have 2 options that I'm gonna choose from sometime within the month. I'm gonna give myself the leniency because I've changed the rules to where I just have to fulfill the prompt, and both of these books would fulfill the prompt. I just don't know which one I will actually get to, but I will get to one of them. The first one is one that you might have seen on a past TBR. It is Women Running in the Mountains by Yuko Tsushima. This is translated from Japanese by Geraldine Harcourt. And this one I've had for quite some time. I saw it in my local indie bookstore, I think maybe like a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago. Loved the cover, loved the mustard, you know, and I just love everything about it. And I have not read it yet. Maybe this will be the month though. This one fits the hermit sort of mentality because our main character in here is a young woman named Takiko who departs on foot for the hospital to give birth to a baby boy. Her pregnancy is the result of an affair with a married man and is the source of sorrow and shame for her abusive parents. For Takiko, however, it is a case for reverie. Her baby, she imagines, will be hers and hers alone, a challenge that she also hopes will free her. This book follows her in her first year as being a mother as she seeks refuge in the company of other women, but as the baby grows, her life becomes less circumscribed as she explores Tokyo and ventures beyond the city into the countryside toward a mountain that captures her imagination and desire for a wilder freedom. So in my mind, she's taking this imagination and desire for a wilder freedom. That's sort of like escaping from everyday life, isolating herself from the world as we know it, you know, going off of Past Sydney's notes for this card. And she's kind of just taking this journey into motherhood in sort of like a conservative hermit style, you know, like she wants to do it her way and raise her son on her own terms. And I'm really excited to see how this story is told. Again, I think it's stunning. I love that there seems to be like hour by hour. Oh my gosh, this sounds fun. I didn't even know this was in here. So it kind of looks like in some parts of the book, there's like timelines of the day. There's like Monday, December 25th, 8 a.m., 9:15, 9:50, 10:10, and it like talks about the routine that her and maybe her and her son are going through. I just really would love to read this book. So let's make it happen this month. All right, let's try to make it happen. But the other book that I want to kind of throw into the mix is another one that I've had from Book of the Month for how long? May 2021. So not as embarrassing as Severance, but still kind of embarrassing because I've wanted to read it. I just freaking haven't. It's Imposter Syndrome by Kathy Wang. Imposter Syndrome, very much an isolated feeling, much like hermits. Book of the Month calling me out. Apparently I have the bookmark that says mark is unread inside this cover. Oh, and I'm a freak between the sheets. That one doesn't match this book. Mark is unread though, definitely does. I've wanted to read this book for so long and the synopsis sounds like I would really enjoy it. This book is following Julia, who is a recent university graduate in computer science. She was living in Moscow when she was recruited by Russia's largest intelligence agency, and by 2018, she's in Silicon Valley as COO of Tangerine, one of America's most famous technology companies. In between her executive management, self-promotion, and work and gender equality, she funnels intelligence back to the motherland, but now Russia's asking for more and Julia's getting nervous. Our other main character is Alice Liu, who's a first-generation Chinese American whose parents were delighted that she's working at Tangerine, but she's slogging away in the lower echelons, recently dumped and now sharing her expensive 2-bedroom apartment with her cousin Sherry, when one afternoon while performing a server check, Alice discovers the unusual activity and now she's burdened with 2 powerful but distressing suspicions. Tangerine's privacy settings aren't as rigorous as the company claims they are, and the person abusing the loophole might be Julia Lerner herself, the COO of the company, you know, the first person we chatted about. I've always loved how this book sounds, and who knows, maybe I will read both of these books for this prompt. But in the meantime, let's go on to spin number 4. Spin number 4, we got roll a die and the page count must start with that number. That's scary. I don't have a die handy, but I know that I do have a dice rolling app because of situations exactly like this. Here we are. You ready? So we're gonna tap and roll the dice. 3. That's not bad. That could have been bad. Last time I had this prompt, I landed on 6, and I was trying to find a book that was 600 and something when someone in the comments said, Sydney, you know you could have read a book that started with like 62 or like double digits, not triple digits. And I always think about that moment where no, it didn't even cross my mind. So 3, I don't really have anything that's like double digits, so it will be 300 and something, and that actually is a very palatable number. I just have to find one. Maybe is imposter syndrome 300? I mean, imposter syndrome is 300 and something pages, so that actually works really well. I could choose imposter syndrome right here, right now. Ooh, If We Were Villains by ML Rio is also 300 and something. I kind of also really want to read this. Okay, upon further examination, I will either be, choosing imposter syndrome or If We Were Villains by ML Rio. Okay, we already chatted about this one, but If We Were Villains is basically, now I'm too low. How does this keep happening? Like, what is wrong with me? And I have this like chord thing in the background. I really didn't plan this at all. Chords still, I don't care. I don't care anymore. This is a dark academia sort of like mystery story where one of our main characters, Oliver Marks, is released from jail. The man who put him there is waiting at the door. Detective Colborne wants to know the truth, and after 10 years, Oliver is finally ready to tell it. A decade ago, Oliver is one of the 7 young Shakespearean actors at this classical conservatory, a place of keen ambition and fierce competition. In the secluded world of firelight and leather-bound books, Oliver and his friends play the same roles on stage as off: hero, villain, tyrant, temptress, ingenue, still don't know if I say that right, and extra. But in their 4th and final year, good-natured rivalries turn ugly, and on opening night, real violence invades the students' world of make-believe. In the morning, the 4th years find themselves facing their very own tragedy, and their greatest acting challenge yet, convincing the police, each other, and themselves that they are innocent. I love the writing, even in the synopsis. I've been told that it's a story that I would really enjoy, and it seems like everyone who says that is not wrong. It's been on my radar for a while, and since I've actually read the full synopsis during my book haul last week, it's been really on my mind. So this might be an option, but again, imposter syndrome is also just as good of an option. So I have a lot of options basically this month. So let's go into spin number 5 and see if it's our last spin and what it holds. Phenomenal. Spin number 5, we got a mood read, which is a perfect way to end the spins. I have to decide if I want pain or like happiness. Ooh, honestly, okay, wait. I don't have any fantasy on this TBR so far, because part of me wants to choose On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong or Bliss Montage by Ling Ma, but I need some fantasy in my life. And I know that I'm going to be reading Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson at the end of next month. That is my main book club pick, but we've already chatted in the past about how I have to stop putting the book club pick on my Spin the Bottle TBR because I always read it at the very end of the month or at the very start of the next month because I want it to be fresh during the book club discussion. So for this mood read, I could pick a book in the Broken Earth trilogy because hopefully I will be reading that first book this weekend, which is the 5th season. I could read the 2nd book in that series, or I can choose Happy Place by Emily Henry because I have to read her next book. I have to. Emily Henry is my happy place. Ooh, honestly, that's probably what I'll do is I'm not going to actually choose a book for this prompt, but instead leave it open for myself to choose either a fantasy book or Happy Place. In any sense, this space will get fulfilled. So we'll just have to see what I end up choosing. But those are the spins. That's the end of the game. And I kind of already discussed other books that I kind of want to read this month while talking through my decisions with you. So that portion of the video was kind of already covered. Oh my goodness. Okay, hold on. I have to grab my glass greenhouse compendium jar. The last thing we do in these videos now is I choose a book from my greenhouse compendium jar. This is a collection of my patrons' favorite books or books that they want me to read, and I will grab one out of the mix of all of these shreds of paper. And then with whatever book I choose, I will have a, oh fun! I will do a, oh my god, I can't talk, exclusive reading vlog for whatever book I pick for the greenhouse. So exclusive content over there. And this book, I am really excited. I think I know that Lo put this one in, and the book is Black Cake. It's by Charmaine Wilkerson. I'm really excited to be finally reading this book. This synopsis says, in present-day California, Eleanor Bennett's death leaves behind a puzzling inheritance for her 2 children, Byron and Benny. A black cake, made from a family recipe with a long history and a voice recording recording. In her message, Eleanor shares a tumultuous story about a headstrong young swimmer who escapes her island home under suspicion of murder. The heartbreaking tale Eleanor unfolds, the secrets she still holds back, and the mystery of a long-lost child challenge everything the siblings thought they knew about their lineage and themselves. Can Byron and Benny reclaim their once close relationship, piece together Eleanor's true history, and fulfill her final request to share the black cake when the time is right? Will their mother's revelations bring them back together or leave them feeling more lost than ever? It is beyond time for me to pick this up. Very excited that I happened to pull it out of the jar. Woo! Okay. But I think that that's all that I have for you today now, officially. I think. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me for a little bit. If you are still here, leave the flashlight emoji down. Is this a flashlight? Down below in the comments, and while you're down there, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. I always appreciate your support, and of course, be kind to one another and happy reading. Bye.